Daniel Dazi, and in our first story, a 29-year-old printing press operator, Kanodia Haruna, is currently battling for his life at the Bali District Hospital following gunshot wounds he sustained from 3 unknown assailants at his home. According to family sources at Bali in the district of the Savannah region, the victim, who was allegedly shot several times on his lower arm, closed from work in the early hours of last night and, together with his wife, a mobile money merchant, went home. But upon reaching home, 3 unknown assailants on board a motorbike sprung up and opened fire on the victim before snatching and bolting with his wife's handbag. Bali police are yet to comment on the matter as doctors are seriously working on him to remove all the bullets. The NPP parliamentary candidate for Bali Bamboy, David Say Dema, is calling for perpetrators to be dealt with while urging all to maintain their peace in Bali.
He picked the wife from her workplace, and when they were going home, some 2 unknown men crossed them and were demanding for money. And according to them, they told them they were not having money, and they shot him. But when I came to the hospital, I saw that even though he has been shot, but the condition now is stable and he's still under the medical care.
As someone who's aspiring to be a major holder,
yeah.
Are you worried with what has happened to you?
I'm worried. Bali, to say, it's a place of peace. Bali is known to be a peaceful area. When some of these things are beginning to happen, I'm always worried. But the only
I don't want to come out there.
thing I would say now is that the security should be on their guys, so that the peace that we are enjoying in Bali, will continue to enjoy that peace. They should work hard to try to bring those culprits to book, so that it can scare or it can deter others who might have also have it in mind of going into such acts.
Correspondent Isaac Nonya joins us live with more. Isaac, where and when did this happen?
Well, this happened the main town of Bali, Bali, here in the Bali district. The victim is close. The store is equally close to his home, but that of the wife's mobile vendor, who is the mobile vendor, was a bit far away from both the husband and then the house. So she closed and then went to the husband. And when they moved to the house, it's like the people trailed the wife together with the husband. So when they got to the house, they rather went to the husband asking for him to release the money to them. When he said not have money, they followed him inside, only for the one to come back to the wife, snatch the bag from her before they shot the husband, and they bolted away with the bag.
So they shot the husband even after they had the bag in their possession?
Simultaneously, because one was following the husband to the room, while the other one was standing by the wife. And this is the case. I think the wife pleaded with them to allow the husband to go and not take the bag away. This is a pregnant woman who witnessed the scene. So her plea was adhered to, and the bag was taken away from her. According to her, they came through the toilet, the opposite side of the entrance, and then pounced on them and executed the operation.
So the wife is fine now. Has she been speaking?
The wife is very stable. She's fine. Nothing has happened to her.
Okay.
At the time we were at the hospital, the wife has come to visit the husband and to see how he was doing.
How's the husband doing?
The husband, according to doctors, is stable now, but they need to carry on an operation on him to be sure that all the bullets are out from his system.
So he has not been discharged?
He has not been discharged. For now, he's under surveillance by the medical doctors at the facility. Have any arrests been made? Yes, please. One suspect, they claim, has picked the victim's phone at the time of the exercise, the attack, called another person. And based on the surveillance by the police, they were able to trace to the guy who made the call. They picked the one with the phone, but the one who received the call from the other suspect is yet to be picked, including the other 2 who attacked the victim.
So, Isaac, has the police spoken yet?
The police are yet to speak, even though 3 of them including the BNI and the military, were also at the hospital to visit the patient.
Right. Thank you, Isaac, for joining us with that update, and all the best to this family. Back to the capital, Accra now, and the Attorney General will soon commence the prosecution of former GFA President Kwesi Nyantakyi following the review of the docket presented by the CID. Madam Gloria Ekufu, briefing the House on the status of the investigation, indicated that the demise of the principal witness Ahmed Swale stalled the preparation of the case. She hints Mr. Nyantakyi will be taken to court in a week or two.
I was summoned to answer a specific question in the House. Mr. Speaker, the question directly asks of the status of investigations. I need to state that my office is not responsible for investigation as such, but because we work closely with the investigators, I found it necessary to provide the information to the House as is necessary. I do not think, Mr. Speaker, that I should be compelled at this stage to disclose the decisions of my office as to whom should be prosecuted or not. I ask that I be allowed not to respond to the question.
Honourable member for Yellow Crow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the last paragraph of the answer indicates that presentation of the case in court is imminent. May I find out from the Honourable Minister how soon will the case be? Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are dotting our I's and crossing our T's. Give and take a week or a fortnight, the matter may be presented. But I need say that the filing is in our control, but the fixing and actual presentation is in the control of the court. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Parker Wilson is our man in Parliament. He joins us live. Parker, what else has the AG been saying?
Well, so, Daniel, basically the AG has assured the House that the commencement of prosecution, as far as Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi is concerned, the former DFA boss, will begin in about 2 weeks. And for her, they had to delay the whole process because of the demise of Ahmed Swale, who the Attorney General says was the principal witness in this particular case. But upon a further review and, of course, the completion of the review, they decided to proceed to court even without the principal witness. And a question was asked about whether or not the dockets are submitted by the CID implicated the former DFA boss. The AG in response indicated that this is the work of her office and pleaded with the Speaker not to allow her answer the question. The question on the floor was to brief the House on the status of the investigation, which she has already done. And the Speaker allowed her not to answer that particular question.
Did she indicate what charges Mr.
for the adoption of the corporate insolvency bill, and that is before the House currently.
Super. Parker, has she indicated what charges Mr. Nyantakyi will be brought to court with?
No, she has not yet. In fact, any question related to the prosecution, the Speaker did not allow her to answer those questions, and that because she indicated that this is a work of the office and it's part of the docket that they are presenting to court to begin or commence the prosecution of Mr. Kwesi Nyantakyi.
Thank you very much, Parker Wilson, for joining us with that update away from Parliament. 3.5 kilometers of one lane out of the 7.5-kilometer Lekma dual carriage road has been completed. This was what JoyNews' Kojo Yankson found this morning after visiting the stretch to ascertain the status of work. In July this year, JoyNews began a campaign to get the road fixed following its devastating effect on residents and a major public health facility there. Latest checks by JoyNews this morning reveal the work appears to be slow, an appreciable amount of work is underway. Kojo Yankson has more.
This is the Lekma Road. 7.5 kilometers of long abandoned construction, which as a result started to cause lots of health and economic difficulty for the people living on either side of it, particularly those who have been trying to use the Lekma Hospital at the far end of this road. JoyNews did a campaign, and as a result, government released $3 million to start the work. We're here to see how far the work has gone, and I can tell you that we have observed at least 3 to 3.5 kilometers of one lane, which has been done to the point of graveling, not yet tarred. So the 3.5 kilometers will probably be from about Manet, which is nearer to Spintex Road, all the way to this point, which is called Agbliza. Manet to Agbliza, about 3.5 kilometers, all done up to the point of gravel. Some parts have been tarred, others have not. And we have been told by some of the workers this is because of the water table at this area. So they are using a construction method that requires a bit of a wait before the tarring is done to ensure that they don't end up retaining water, which will cause problems later while the road is being used. But the other lane is yet to be touched. No work has yet been done on the other lane. Now, let's bear in mind that this is a road contract which was valued for full completion at about $20 million. Government of Ghana has so far released 17 million cedis, which comes up to round about $3 million out of 20. So you can well imagine that is in no way going to be enough to complete the project. So far we've seen this 3.5 kilometer stretch done up to the gravel level, but not just that, there's some other work being done. If you come with me, you will see that just beyond these two mounds of gravel, right here, the two lips of this lane of the dual carriageway are being constructed. These are concrete blocks that have been prefabricated and brought here to the location, and they will be cemented into place to create the two protective lips of the road. Now, as you can imagine, that's a lot of concrete, a lot of cement that is going to go into creating this all the way along the two lanes of the 7.5 kilometer stretch. That's also quite a big cost item and is currently being done. So $3.5 million or so is being put to work right now, but it is nowhere near enough to complete the Lekma Road. What we do know is that there was an instruction at some point for the construction to start at the frontage of the Lekma Hospital to get rid of the dust problem that is being caused there. So there was supposed to be some movement from here to there so that the construction of that part of the road will be prioritized and completed first before they come back to continue the rest. So that the $3.5 million that had been released would at least solve that problem. We're yet to see that happening. We can still see the work going on this end of it, the Manet to Agbliza end of the road, on one lane of it. Of course, we'll continue to monitor and tell you how work goes.
Now, Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amwakwata has again made a promise on the resumption of construction works on the Eastern Stretch Road project, assuring rigorous work on the stretch before the end of 2019. According to him, the contractor on the Esikuma-Hohoe stretch, GS International Developers, have been paid and are mobilizing to return to site within the next 3 weeks. He said when addressing a Durbar of chiefs at Peve during President Akufo-Addo's tour of the Volta region.
The last day of the president tour saw him visit Jolokpita Vakpo, where he commissioned a dormitory facility before heading to Peve in the South Dai district. At Peve, the paramount chief of Peki traditional area, Deiga Kojudei the 12th, pleaded with government to resume works on the Sukuma-Hohoe stretch of the Eastern Corridor Road project.
Your Excellency, Asikuma-Hohoe section of the Eastern Corridor Road remains a death trap. Our road network, as you have experienced, are in a deplorable state and require urgent attention to make playing of them stress-free. With the downpour of the rains, our town roads have deteriorated beyond the fixing of the district assembly. More worrying is the quest for drivers to make up for the time lost on the bad sections of the road, which has resulted in numerous accidents and loss of precious lives. We have times without number also recorded loss of people's economic livelihoods because vehicles carrying produce, which are mostly foodstuffs, get broken down or tipped off the road. Your Excellency, with you here today, it is my fervent belief we will soon be on the roads.
In response, the Roads and Highways Minister, Kwesi Amoakwata, assured of rigorous works on the stretch before the end of 2020 as government begins paying contractors.
Some roads had to be suspended for a deeper work to be done. Now, I want to inform all of you that the ban has been lifted and monies have been raised under the leadership of His Excellency, the President. And as at today, 122 suspended contractors are back to work. The contractor here working on the Cocoa roads, 2 critical roads here from Have to Hohoi, covering a distance of 31 kilometers, and again from the first 20 kilometers of Have to Hohoi. These 2 road sections are being worked on by JS International Developers. And I want to assure the people of this area that it is part of the resurrected Cocoa Roads. And Nana, as you wanted to know what is going to happen to these roads, JS International Developers under instruction after receiving monies to come back to work. They were already on the road. I agree and I admit work slowed down, but because of the payments being made to them, these contractors are coming back to work. So I want to assure you, Have Hohoi Road, the first 20 kilometers, and Have Hohoi Road, the second 31 kilometers, together with Sikuma to Kwebe Road, are all going to see work in less than 3 weeks from now. The contractor is mobilizing, and before the end of the month, running into December, Nananum, you will see the contractors back to work.
President Akufo-Addo, however, blamed the NDC for the country's poor road infrastructure, but promised his government commitment to improving the situation.
The Peking College of Education. The Minister for Roads and Highways has also indicated the plans that the government has to deal with the Sikuma Hohoi, the death trap, the degradation of the roads network here. This is supposed to be an accounting talk, but I think that one thing we should all remember, that most of the last 25 years of the Fourth Republic, the opposition party, the National Democratic Congress, has been the one in power. So if we're looking for who to blame for the state of our roads, I think it should be very clear to all of us who has the responsibility for the state of the roads in our country today. But that being the case, we in the New Patriotic Party, we will not shirk our responsibility. We will deal with the state of roads that we found when we came to office. And you heard the minister telling you what we're going to do.
The president took his tour to the drop-on textile factory where he interacted with workers before cutting sod for the water rail bridge at Ugli.
Now, a community-based health planning and service compound in Oforikro municipality cannot be opened over health insurance accreditation and equipment installation challenges. The facility, sited at Kenton Krono, was constructed by Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly in 2017 before the municipality was created. The CHPS compound yard has now become a grazing ground for cattle, while equipment gather dust. Nana Aljima has been finding out more about this facility and filed this report.
A young man herds many cattle to graze around the CHPS compound, supposed to provide healthcare services. The herdsman shies away from the microphone when I sought to find out from him why his animals should graze here.
I bring them to this place often to graze. When the grass is down, I take them to the river to graze. This place is one of the 3 green spaces I use.
The 2017 Auditor General's report captured the CHPS compound completed and operating at the cost of 220,517 Ghana cedis. A visit to the facility last year had revealed construction workers are occupying it, but all of them have evicted now. From a distance, the neatly roofed structure brightens in 2 different shades of green, repainted months ago.
After construction workers here were evicted, the construction of this borehole followed. The hopes of the people were high. They thought very soon this CHPS compound would be operational, but it looks like that will not be happening any moment from now.
A resident, Bernard Nanamankwa, speaks of impact it could have on lives of people if it was opened for work.
When you look at it, there's only 1 clinic up over there. So when this is here, it will help people like people going to tech rather than one that is closer to them. So it will help, especially normal illness. You just pass by it is very closer to you. Then you go and have a good health facility.
On the advice of health professionals, investments have been made to upgrade the facility. Oforikro Municipal Assembly is working at procuring basic medication pending National Health Insurance Authority's approval. Chief Executive Gloria Temagambra responds to the questions on the CHPS compound at a Meet the Press event.
We need the NHIA approval. We've paid, we are waiting for the approval, and we are also in the process of getting some basic drugs and other things submitted by the health director. When we get these things procured, we will commission them. I want the commission to be done whereby it can serve the purpose which the project was constructed. We don't want a situation we will commission and at the end of the day it cannot serve them. So we are putting certain measures in place to ensure that after commissioning it will serve them fully.
Nana Aljima reporting.
Away from that story, while his mates were at home waiting for the recent strike by technical university teachers to end, Bright Danso, a final year student, was off to work. He's building a career for himself as an artist with a rare technique of making designs with heated metals and fire. Bright invited us over to show some of his exceptional work.
My name is Ken Amenophis, and you're welcome to my mini studio.
Designing with fire? That sounded pretty out of the ordinary when I heard about Ken Amenophis. Oh, that's pseudonym for Bright Danso, a final year student of Takoradi Technical University. He's an artist who specializes in pyrography, freehanded art of decorating wood or other materials with burn marks and Lichtenberg art. The art of creating tree-like patterns by the passage of high voltage electrical discharges.
I'm going to produce a Lichtenberg fractal imagery stool, which signifies the pains, the struggles and the length of days our parents take to bring us up as kids. This is my baking soda and water. First of all, I paint the surface of the stool with the baking soda and water.
Bright got exposed to this kind of art when he was in senior high school.
I didn't start as a pyrography artist. I was just an artist drawing, you know, a kid playing with his pens and his pencils, trying to do something. And then I realized that, you know, I can do much more than using just the pencils. So I thought to myself, why not try pyrography and then see the outcome? So I ended up using soldering iron to make field drawings and then know the outcome. So after the field drawings made from the soldering iron, I went online and I started searching some of the various tools that I can use to enhance my work.
Don't be deceived. This is not just burning wood surfaces. Bright's designs are carefully thought through. His works are mostly inspired by circumstances. He tells me about his favorite artwork he calls Unitech, highlighting the inequality in the country's educational system.
The thinking that went into Black Unitech is when I decided to go to school, and then I realized everybody thinks this school is better than the other, and when you are here, you are better off than being here or there. So I entered into school, and then I came to think about it, and I was like, no, I don't think one is better than the other for who that person is.
Bright's artworks, no surprise, have generated a lot of interest. He has been commissioned several times to produce his Pyro-Lichtenberg art pieces, costing at least 450 Ghana cedis, that's $80 or even more.
Sometimes it's not really about even the piece that I sold, but the fact that an art piece that I produce is able to make somebody smile, or is able to put, you know, a lot of love in the eyes of someone. Some people see my art piece and they feel like, wow, they see the power of God around, because it's overwhelming and it looks like this is God.
That feeling, that is what excites Bright as he builds a career as a Pyro-Lichtenberg artist.
All the best to Bright and his fascinating designs.